Jamie? Cool. All right, thanks guys for coming over to the Joe Rogan Experience, the podcast.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, how's it over there at the Larson Zoo?
It's great.
You've got new animals.
Oh, really? Cool. I've never been there. We'll never go, but that's pretty cool. But I heard that you guys are at the zoo and you work there. So I found some cool information from the New York Post. They published this article in October 6th of 2010. So it's a little old, and it's science. I know that's important, but still, I thought it was interesting. So they said, quote, biologists estimate that as many as 10% of animal species occasionally breed with another species, creating hybrids, right? And this is from the article titled Lions and Tigers and Zorses, ? So, I was wondering if you guys knew anything about that from personal experience. For listeners at home, I'm going to give some introductions here. So we have Dr. Frankenstein right there, scientist. Good, how you doing? How you doing? And then we have Tegan here.
It's Tigan.
Tigan, cool. Make that up yourself, or? Yeah, oh, well, that's fine. And then we have Dr. and Mrs. Associate Director Cheryl. Yep, cool.
So,
Yeah, so, I was just wondering, I have two main questions. What are hybrids and chimeras? What's their differences? And then, is this a good idea or a bad idea that these things even exist? I don't know, but I do know that you guys did say you have some new animals in.
Yeah. So I'll answer the question, what's the difference between a chimera and a hybrid?
Okay.
So chimeras are made in labs. They're human-made. They're genetically engineered through CRISPR and stem cell research. Whereas hybrids occur naturally in the wild. I specialize in the Paisley bear.
Yeah, I can get Jamie. Can you pull that up for us, please?
Yeah.
Jamie's our picture guy, by the way.
There it
You
is,
never
right
see
there.
it, but it's there.
It's working. So that's the Paisley bear, also known as the roller bear. It's a cross species between a polar bear and a grizzly, hence the name Paisley. And they were first discovered in 2006, and they are now being created in labs also for our zoo.
Very popular.
Huh?
yeah,
Oh,
sorry about that.
But polar bears are now moving south, and grizzly bears are moving up north due
Is
to
it climate
climate
change,
change. Yeah, so they're seeking a natural habitat. According to Dina Spector and Kevin Loria in their article, A Changing World is Creating These Hybrid Animals, published on August 16, 2014. A study published in the journal Nature in 2010 listed 34 total species that are at risk of crossbreeding because of warming climate. So animals are shifting around, meaning similar species that are ending up in these offspring of cross species.
Okay, so, I mean, that's kind of a bummer, but it's cool that there are more hybrids, because these guys are cool. But if there's becoming more of them, why don't we see more hybrids in zoos?
Well, actually, I specialize in the liger, which is a male lion and a female tiger.
Okay.
And the reason why
Jamie?
we don't have more of
Cool.
these is because they suffer from so many birth defects. According to PETA, an organization that's working to cut down on hybrids, Access on May 1st, 2019, like all big cat hybrids, they frequently suffer from neurological defects, sterility, cancer, arthritis, organ failure, and just diminished life expectancy.
But sometimes naturally occurring ones, such as the grizzly bear, don't suffer from infertility. Yeah. There are actually cases of second generation grizzly bears having offspring, so they are fertile and they are a sustainable species now.
Cool.
Yeah.
And they're like ombre, too. That's fun.
Very cool.
So mainly in ligers. Jamie, can I have a picture of a liger?
Yeah, it's still my job, like,
It's wonderful.
Sure.
So as you can see in the picture, they suffer from giganticism, so they just keep growing and growing and growing. And this is actually pretty terrible because their organs can't really keep up with this. So they usually end up dying from organ failure. This is another reason why they don't really occur in the wild, because they have giganticism. The newborn babies, before they're born, they just keep growing and growing and growing, and they end up not being able to fit through the birth canal, and they have to be delivered through C-section, which we usually do when they are in captivity.
Well, hold on there, Dr. Tegan. There are also many positives to when it comes to hybrid animals. So hybrid animals can have better characteristics from the two animals combined. For instance, let's talk about the mule, because I specialize in the mule. And do you mind pulling up a picture, please?
Sure. I mean,
So mules have been around since the 1400s. It's a very common hybrid animal. And It's
So they're naturally occurring then too.
yeah, because of their environment, sometimes they're close in proximity usually, and so they can combine naturally. A mule is a female horse, and it's also a male donkey combined. The mule has more endurance and overall strength than a horse alone, so that's very incredible.
Wait, can you repeat that one more time? More, what was it?
Endurance.
Endurance and
Yeah.
overall strength. So
Yes.
it can go for longer periods of time.
Yes.
Pulling things, right?
Yes.
Cool. Okay, so
So that's why they used them a lot back then before we got cars.
the cool like carts and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Oh, cool.
Of course.
Of course.
And according to Wolin in New York Times Magazine, published October 2017, a mule is stronger per pound than a horse. In addition to their strength, the hooves on a mule are very different. They're actually harder, and because of the hooves and the overall system of the mule, it actually has a natural resistance to many diseases. So they tend to be more healthier than a horse and a donkey. They also have a tougher skin, and they're less sensitive. Their skin is, so that's very easier to maintain than a horse.
But they can't reproduce, right? Or can they?
They can't. I mean, the males are usually sterile, so that's
Okay.
a problem. But they, I mean, when they do come about, it's very beneficial to everyone. And also, they can adapt to climate. So let's say there's extreme climate experiences like the harsh rays from the sun or really rainy days. They can actually, hold up in those harsh conditions. So that's very useful. It also, if
Look
you're
cute.
looking at it, it's super cute. But so it looks like a horse, but the muscle structure is very different, and then the ears are obviously larger, and the tail you can't see, but it's very different than a horse.
Okay, that's pretty interesting. I mean, I'd already heard about the mule just because, yeah, they're really old, so everyone's kind of heard of the mule before. But I didn't know exactly what it was. And the other two I'd never heard of before, like the liger, that's pretty cool. But the belly looks weird as heck, but still cool. And then we have the grizzly bear, again, which is awesome.
Yeah, you can see the trace from a grizzly and a polar bear in
Yeah.
both of them.
Yeah, totally. And just to summarize a little bit, because we're almost running out of time here. I know we've been talking for a long time. And correct me if I'm wrong here. So a hybrid is the natural combination of two different species, right? With the natural crossbreeding.
Yes.
Okay, great. And then a chimera is when people artificially combine the two different embryos of two different
Made in the lab, yeah.
made in the lab, cool. And so grizzly bear can be either of those, but the liger cannot be, because the liger can only be a chimera because it doesn't naturally occur in the wild, or if it does, it'll die before birth. Yeah. So that's why some people say maybe it's bad, because you could be like doing some weird, Black Mirror stuff to these animals, and that's no good. But then the flip side of that is this mule guy here as an example, because the mule has stronger physical characteristics than either of its parents individually, and that's good for humans, right? Cool.
We benefit from this.
Great. Yeah, I don't really care about that. I think that's cool. I don't care if, one's bad, one's good. They're just pretty to look at, and I might actually go to the Larson Zoo now
You should.
if I can ride them. Thanks.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.